Whether you're going on an exciting first date or spending a lazy Sunday afternoon with your family, few places bring people together like the movie theater. And be it a drama, action flick, comedy, or mystery film, the movies are a great way to relax, eat some popcorn, and get some high quality entertainment. Yet there are some movies that didn't exactly live up to expectations, and as a result lost their producers a lot of credibility and, most importantly, a lot of money. So today we're going to be giving you a list of movies that you shouldn't watch with this list of the top 10 box office flops. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button for the YouTube algorithm. Number 10, Stealth. Despite being on this list, on the surface, Stealth really shouldn't have been as bad as it was. After all, not only was it directed by Rob Cohen, who has been at the helm of massive hits such as XXX and The Fast and Furious, but it was also filled with a star-studded cast that included Jessica Biel and Jamie Foxx. However, many deemed it to just be a rip-off of the popular films Top Gun and 2001: A Space Odyssey, with many wincing at its extremely predictable space-themed storyline. As a result, the film was a box office flop and ended up losing the producers about $96 million. Number 9, 47 Ronin. Although 47 Ronin came in samurai swords ablazing with its $150 million operating budget, it's clear that this didn't translate well to theaters. You see, 47 Ronin is based off an ancient Japanese legend, yet despite this, the director chose to cast Keanu Reeves, who is a white man, as a Japanese samurai, despite Reeves not having been in a hit movie since the release of The Day the Earth Stood Still 5 years prior. When you then consider that the film also faced a lot of competition, it should come as no surprise that 47 Ronin lost $98 million in theaters and was soon forgotten by most moviegoers. Number 8, The Lone Ranger. Thanks to it using the Pirates of the Caribbean dream team of Gore Verbinski, Jerry Bruckheimer, and Johnny Depp, The Lone Ranger should have been a box office hit. However, the movie greatly suffered after it failed to make good use of its flagship actor Johnny Depp by making him nearly unrecognizable in the makeup of his character Tonto. Yet, The Lone Ranger was then dealt another blow when, despite using a decades-old character in The Lone Ranger, the movie tried to market itself to teenagers rather than to adults. As a result, when it went up against Despicable Me 2 in its opening weekend, The Lone Ranger got absolutely crushed, leading to the movie losing an astounding $98 million. Let's just say that we don't expect too many more modern spaghetti westerns to be produced by a major studio anytime soon. Number 7, Titan AE. At first glance, Titan AE should have been a pretty stellar movie. That's because the film, which starred Matt Damon and Bill Pullman, actually was quite good. Tapping into the always trendy space subsection, its storyline, which was about humans banding together during an alien Armageddon, was generally seen as quite decent. However, where the film fell off a cliff was with its budget, as due to a directing change partway through production, said budget was slashed to much lower levels than necessary. As a result, almost no money was spent on advertising the movie, and this led to very few people even realizing that it was in theaters, ultimately causing Titan AE to lose a staggering $100 million at the box office. This certainly goes to show that advertising really is needed for a film to succeed. Number 6, Mars Needs Moms. While Mars may need moms, it certainly doesn't need any more Disney movies. That's because this film, which is based on an illustrated book by author Berkeley Breathed, was an absolute flop at the box office. primarily based around a child being abducted by aliens and then brought to Mars, the film didn't bode well with young audiences, who didn't exactly get all that excited with this rather mundane title. As a result, despite having a $150 million operating budget, the film grossed a lousy $50 million, leading to Mars Needs Moms coming in with a net loss of about $100 million. Number 5. Monster Trucks. Continuing the list of kid movie misses is Monster Trucks. Now, the entire film was essentially made with the inspiration of a wordplay on monster trucks, instead referring to monsters in trucks. And as you might expect, this didn't exactly make for an inspiring script, having its release date pushed back 3 times and having a plot that wasn't all that interesting. Even after all of this extra time, it still received terrible reviews and tanked pretty quickly, only earning $10 million at the box office despite its $125 million budget. Its $115 million net loss makes it one of the worst movie flops in history. Number 4. John Carter. It should come as no surprise that many of the films on this list went over budget, but John Carter truly tips the scale due to it being the 6th most expensive movie of all time. Yet this flick just goes to show that throwing money at a film will not always help improve it, as the space-themed script was dry and plot uninspiring despite its high price tag, causing the production team to take a $122 million hit as a result. We just think that it's a shame that so many resources were poured into making such a lackluster movie. Number 3. Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Although famed actors Brad Pitt and Michelle Pfeiffer starred in this animated feature, this was not enough to save Sinbad and his crew from sinking into the seven seas. Released in 2003, this slapstick film was disparaged by critics for being repetitive, noisy, and boring, while featuring poor hand-drawn animations and less than impressive performances by its voice-over actors. When you then further consider that the movie had to compete against Pixar's legendary film Finding Nemo during this time of its release, it's clear that Sinbad was destined to fail. And with a loss of $125 million, it most certainly did. Number 2. Cutthroat Island. While Pirates of the Caribbean showed that a pirate flick could do well in theaters upon its first release in 2003, the same cannot be said for Cutthroat Island. Coming out in 1995, it faced spiraling production costs right from the get-go, with this problem being accentuated by the horrible screenwriting and cheesy PG-13 violence. As a result, Cutthroat Island was a flop in theaters, and after losing about $147 million in the box office once adjusted for inflation, it nearly ended the careers of almost all the actors that starred in it. Number 1. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Although this 2017 movie has the honor of being one of the worst of the worst, at first glance it shouldn't have done as badly as it did. Featuring worldwide football and fashion icon David Beckham, it had a cast of stars and a high operating budget of $175 million, giving it all the tools to be a smashing success. However, the movie made a mistake by basing the entire story around King Arthur, who is a character that, in every sense of the word, has been overused in Hollywood. When you then further consider that the premiere date had to be pushed back twice, the chaos and poor storyline worked in tandem to give this movie a horrible 28% on Rotten Tomatoes that ended up translating to a $150 million box office loss. That's all we have for you today, everyone, and thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which movie you thought was the most horrendous on this list, And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button so that you never miss out on a variety top video. Until next time.